What's going on, everybody? It's Stephen here from Digital Renovations. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the little bell icon, and hop on one foot if you want to help me out and stay up to date with the latest videos here at Digital Renovations. Today we're going to be taking a look at how we can set up a Postgres database with Docker. This can be super handy if you're building and deploying apps. I like getting to work with Postgres because of its reliability even when it starts scaling things out, and I'm going to be working on building a web app in the near future to help me manage my DVD collection, so I'm going to need a database to work with while I'm developing. Let's get started. You're going to need Docker to follow along, so head over to docker.com if you don't have it already. I'll drop a link to the video that covers containers and how to get started with Docker. We're also going to need a couple of images to get this to work. So the first one is obviously the image for PostgresQL. And the second one is going to be for Adminer. Adminer is essentially just the new PHP-MyAdmin. It's super fast and it's going to be how we engage with the database while we're getting it up and running. We'll be using Docker Compose to get things built for us, so let's jump into PowerShell and we'll create ourselves a new directory for the project. Make directory, new app project. Perfect, so let's go into our new directory. And we're going to create our Docker Compose file. So we'll go new item, path of this folder, and a name of db build YAML. Excellent. Let's open that up in Visual Studio Code. Perfect. So what are we going to need in this file? Declare our services, so we're going to need the database, obviously. For that, we'll use the image Postgres. We'll tell it to always restart if something goes wrong. We'll give it a shared memory size of 128 megabytes. We'll add a volume. The reason we're doing that is so that the data is persistent, so you don't need to keep the container up and running the entire time. You'll be able to restart it and not lose the data that you've put in there as you're going with your development. We'll set the environment variables. So for this one, we're going to need a password. In this case, we're going to go super secure. We're going to use a number at the end of it, password 1. The default port for Postgres is 5432. So we will expose that. Now, whilst we are going to have Adminer installed, which we're about to get to here, we are going to also want to have this accessible by the app that we're developing, meaning we're going to need the port exposed directly to the host machine as well as to Adminer. Adminer we will have restarting always as well, and it will be running on port 8080, so we'll connect port 8080 in the container to port 8080 on our host, and then we will declare our volumes for Docker Compose. Excellent. All right. Barring any horrendous typos we've got in there, we should now be able to jump in here. Go Docker Compose -f for the flag because we're not using a file called dockercompose.yaml. We've called ours db build.yaml. Up, hit enter, and it is running through and getting everything started. Now, that's because I have the images already downloaded. for you. If you haven't done this before, you don't have those images, it's going to run through a download process so that you can get to this point where it's up and running. Let's jump into the browser and go to localhost 8080. Alright, so now we'll log in. Username, Postgres, the default. Password, super secure, password 1. Click login, and we have a default database created called Postgres. And here we are. All good. We can start creating tables, we can start manipulating this, and all is right with the world. Now, if we also wanted to check and make sure this was accessible on the host machine, we could use a tool like dbeaver, which I'm in here. We'll go here for a new connection. We're going to select Postgres. Next. Here we have our defaults already filled in. We're connecting to localhost, port 5432, database names, Postgres, username, Postgres, password 1, test, connection is good. Perfect, and now we have access from dbeaver on our local environment, as well as within our Docker network from Adminer. All that's left now is to build the rest of the app, so look, don't forget to like, share, subscribe if you found this helpful and want more content like this. Until next time, have a good one.